Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I am your host, Michelle Bosch. I see a gaping hole across society that focuses on the outer work and forgets about the inner work, when what we really need is to bridge the gap between prosperity and spirituality to live a life in flow, with inflows of light, inflows of cash, inflows of creativity, inflows of grace in our lives. Each week, join me for powerful messages and interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to step into flow in your higher work. So now, let's go. Welcome to the InFlow podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Bosch. I'm very much looking forward to spending another, maybe 20, 30 minutes together of just specific distinctions, that I have made over the course of the years as a real estate investor, as a mentor, that coaches, land flipping, real estate in general, and that has been pretty much obsessed with freedom and with growth, and continue to be. I love pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and so during today's episode, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is how I have used land investing to really create a legacy that is beyond the financial. And what I mean by that is that, yes, land flipping can create, six-figure leaps of income within a very short period of time, but it has also indirectly helped me create a legacy, not just with finances, but in all other aspects of my life for, my daughter and for future generations of women, and really actually for anyone out there that is having, the common and typical, human experience of growth, of being okay with discomfort, during short periods of time, for the benefit of continually pushing what is possible for you, for the benefit of bringing dreams into reality, into actually manifesting them, whether that be, $100,000 in your bank account, or or helping with a ministry, or helping, with charities, or giving back, in some other way to your community. So today it's a little bit about beyond the financial legacy, and just, so I'm definitely not going to talk about anything technical about land flipping. Today is much more about, us as women, as individuals, as just a normal, regular person out there, on their way to their destination, in a journey, basically, in an adventure, and that is also just like I am, really desiring to continue to grow, that is in love with this process of constantly becoming. And so in my last episode, or a couple episodes ago, I can't remember, I had, a lady, a leader here with me, and we were talking about, bravery and courage, and how one act of courage can really bring within an incredible sense of responsibility. And what I mean by that is, I this morning was in our land profit generator community, and there was a lady there that was asking, hey guys, I'm all excited about this new program. I'm ready to go, but I don't see any women doing this land business alone. I don't see any women that either don't have a husband or an aunt or a sister or someone in some shape or form that they're using, or not using, but they're leaning on for any kind of support. And there was an outpour of actually women coming forth to respond to her, saying, yes, I am doing this alone, and it's working. I've been doing it 12 years. And what was interesting to me, though, was that the question in itself inherently meant for her that if other women had not done this alone, that possibly it may not be possible for her either. And that she basically didn't believe that she could be self-sourcing and that she could do it, on her own. And so for me, that's immediately, what I got out of the question, and I thought, what, this is an amazing, episode for the InFlow podcast, because yes, she's talking about it within the context of, sending out letters, using direct mail, finding a deal, putting it under contract, finding a buyer, selling the property and making a profit. But what she was asking about is much, much deeper than that, in that she was a little bit scared of going first, of being first. So she was looking for, confirmation from the group that there are other women doing it as well. And you know what? We do have other women doing it as well. But even if there weren't, there is nothing wrong with being the first. There is nothing wrong with being the only one. In over 19 years of my own personal, journey in real estate, I cannot tell you the countless times that I have been either the one or maybe one of two in a group of 60 or 100 man, or the very first one in my family, to go to university and graduate, the very first one in my family to have an actual master's degree, the very first one in my family to actually go out there and build a business, and build a team, and so on and so forth. And what I want to say is that it is normal to be scared when you are being the first one, but that is really what leadership is all about. And we're all here, whether you believe it or not. We're all here to find that unique quality, that we embody and that we can lead others with. We all have a gift here to share, and that you stepping into that leader, whether it just be, being the provider for your family, being the one that is able to, bring your children to private school, or retire a spouse, or be the first one to retire from a corporate job, be the first one to be actually an entrepreneur that is actually making money, because there's a lot of people out there that claim to be entrepreneurs, but they're not making any money. And they're not making an impact. They're not, and so what I want to say is, yes, it can be sometimes a solitary journey. I can definitely attest to that, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to do it anyways. You do it anyways, and you're going to probably, when you're the first one or the only one, you're going to, as a woman, sometimes deal with incredible indignities. I remember going to a mastermind group for real estate, mastermind for large apartment buildings. For the last 5 years, Jack and I have been investing in apartments. And I remember us checking in and registering. And I mean, we've had to travel, a couple hours, catch a flight. I have to organize my life here at home, make sure that my daughter is being taken care of, that all our obligations in our businesses are being taken care of. And so we go to register, and there's a gentleman there registering us, and he looks at Jack, he registers, gives him his badge, and then he looks at me and he's like, so are you joining us to the meeting, or are you here for the spa? And I'm like, oh my God, I did not just organize my entire life to come here to go to the spa. Of course I'm going to join the meeting. So anyway, so you're going to have to deal with a lot of these things. And I'm sorry if that came across as venting, but I'm telling you, I've dealt with that. And you still need to know that even though you're the first one or you're the only one, that you belong there, Let me say that one more time, that you belong there, that you belong wherever it is that you're at right now, in the beginning of a dream, of a journey, that if you are here, it is for a reason, and that you belong here. And so I also wanted, along with this, with this story and with this example, of this one amazing woman that, in spite of it all, took that leap of faith, and and is about to embark on this amazing, journey of transformation with something, with an asset class that is, so, in my mind, so simple, but that is going to have incredible ripple effects, for her family and for many, many others. And what I mean by that is, every time you and I, or she, takes an action where she's pushing the boundaries of what is possible, every action, every decision that she takes, is setting an impulse into the universe. It's setting an energy into the universe. And with every leap that she makes, with every contract that she gets signed and returned, with every closing that she does in her land investing business, she will be making quantum leaps. And as she is making those quantum leaps, because of that energetic impulse and that wave that gets put out into the universe, she is not just helping herself, but she is bringing us all along in her journey with her. That she is leaving an imprint, one of my guest speakers, Katerina Satori, here said, she's leaving an imprint in the universe of her boldness, of her courage, of her bravery, of her intellect, of her raised level of capability, of intellect, and so on and so forth. And that with her healing of poverty, of lack, my own healing of a consciousness of poverty and lack, that as I heal, I am bringing other women, and not just other women, I'm bringing anyone that is having the human experience of wanting growth and feeling like maybe you're scared, you're fearful, or, and so on and so forth. And whether you're male or female, it is a human experience. And that every time that we take a step, that we are basically healing everyone, that we're healing the universe, every emotion that we feel, with every decision that we make, with every action that we take, I should say, we are healing ourselves, but we heal others as well. We bring everyone in. And for me, that is incredibly exhilarating. It is it gives me an incredible sense of responsibility to continue my growth, or, my obsession with growth and pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and be in a constant state of becoming. And I hope it does for you. There's so much reverence now. Whenever I take a decision, I realize, wow, this decision seems simple right now. It seems like, I'm just evaluating pros and cons here, and I'm basically weighing them and deciding this is how I'm going to go regardless. And then, it dawns on me that these decisions that I'm making are much, much more than that. That they are, like I said, that they have all this weight, or this impulse that go with them. And and then it reminds me that my courage matters, that your courage matters, that the decision that you make matters, that the destiny of the entire world and us as human beings matter, and that I am being part of that evolution, of that, raising of prosperity consciousness, not just for myself, but for others. So that's the beauty, the crux of the matter. This is why, we want to embrace being first. This is why we want to be sometimes the only one, and know that it is okay to sometimes, be scared. It is okay to sometimes, feel or have thoughts like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Of course, and there are risks, but every time you take those risks and you push through fears and you find the support that you're looking for, and actually seize the support, seize the opportunity to get support, that that everything is conspiring in your favor. I remember this year I wanted to, I wanted to improve in certain, areas in our businesses. One of them being sales, and sales and marketing, I should say, or online marketing. And so I hired, I hired a mentor. And I remember, when I was about to invest, because it was not cheap, believe me, I felt exactly like 2 years ago when I was about to invest in another mentor. And so I remember back then, sweating, not being able to sleep the night before I was about to, hand over my credit card, and then realizing, this second time around that, okay, I've felt that before, and look at the outcomes. The outcomes have been that every investment that I have made in myself has come back in spades, has multiplied, it has simplified my life and has allowed me to multiply. And so I just had to remember, and in the moment that I had, this remembrance of that other, 2 years ago investment, it was as if I was, kind of like, if there's grooves in our being or in our brain of fear, that groove was kind of like becoming less permanent, less strong, and less powerful in terms of keeping me away from my destiny and when I know that I'm here to do, and what I'm, and what is possible, for me and anyone that I come in contact with. So I hope, that this episode is, serves you in some way, shape, or form. I also want to, leave you guys with another thought, and the final thought being that, everything that we've been talking about is really about our mindset, or level of thinking, or level of evolution of our consciousness. And I by no means want to say that I'm at a high level. No, I'm actually a humble student of growth and of, consciousness. And in that this is what this is, that this is what I'm talking about, that when we are, making decisions, taking actions, feeling the emotions and doing things anyways, that's how we are affecting, the legacy of our children and of the entire world, of entire humanity, every time, we do something brave, every time we do something courageous, every time we do, something that, kind of like goes, on a tangent from where everyone else is going. And that it's okay sometimes to stand alone, that it's okay to be the first, that it's okay, to be sometimes the only one doing it, and know that there's a reason for that, and that there's incredible responsibility, and that, should give you the courage to continue going, that, that in spite of, whatever you may be feeling, if you put out there a desire, if you've been praying for something, that prayer is being answered with, with people, with tools, with resources, with support, and that they show up. And once, you know what is out there and what is possible, and you put that intention into the world, that, these resources, people, support will show up, and that it's up to you then to continue, that that next step and next step and next step, and just, chase your dreams, go for your dreams, that they matter, and that and that, freedom is possible for all of us. I am definitely a freedom junkie. I'm actually the type of person that if it scares me like hell, I want to actually go in there and jump with both feet first, just for the pure exhilaration of of coming out on the other side and knowing that, oh my God, I did it. I was strong enough. I had the mental, physical, emotional fortitude to do this, and it's an incredible rush. And I know that it's strange to think about it this way, but it helps me, and I hope it helps you too. So with that, thank you so much for spending the last, I don't know, maybe last 20 minutes with me, and exploring how something so simple like putting a property under contract, a piece of land, can really create a legacy, that is beyond the financial, that is beyond the immediate, family, that is really altering just not our family tree, but the family trees of so many others out there, of humanity in general. So go out there, be brave, be the only one, and be the first one. Why not? Why not you? Why not now? Thank you. Bye-bye. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to get inflows of cash, inflows of light, and inflows of faith in your life. I welcome your reviews on iTunes. Please leave me a review and help me create an amazing community of women in flow. Thank you, as always, for sharing your voice by going to michellebosch.com and joining the conversation about this show. And while you're there, grab a copy of my 10 Commandments to Living a Life in Flow. You can also follow me on Facebook at Michelle Bosch and on Instagram at Michelle Bosch Official. Thank you very much, and until the next one.